Hello, Umut here. Welcome to another video. Today I have something very exciting in my hand. This box came from my favorite things. It's one of their card kits. I will quickly show you what's inside. There are 8 ink cubes here, mini ones. They sent a complimentary hugs die, so thank you for that. There is this cute stamp set with all kitchen tools, a jar, bowls, vase, everything, and then matching dies. And there is this sentiment set that goes with the stamp set. And there are many cards, more than others probably, many colors. You can see the colors here, and then 4 white cardstock. With this set, I'm going to produce 5 cards for you to see what you can do differently with each card set. So for the first one, I'm going to use the pink one for the card base and white one for the front. I'm going to create a shaker card with 3 different circles. So I chose 3 different sizes from my Tonic Studios die set. I opened these circles in the white cardstock, and now I'm going to just stick my acetate sheets around those circles. So I'm doing it with tape. And now they are ready. I'm going to put my foam tape around these circles to allow my shaker mix to move. I'm going to double up this foam tape. I don't intend to bore you with all my foam tape sticking. So imagine there are double the foam tape that you see to make it higher so that the mix can move. Since my sentiment is I'm so glad we mix well, I chose the mixer from the stamp set, and I am having a color scheme of the pinks, so it's a very girly card. From the card kit, I'm using bubble gum and ripe raspberry to create my mixers. I'm just stamping them randomly around my card. I'm quite happy with how it looks, and now I'm going to place my shaker mix. This is from Lucy's shop, Little Things. It's called Tinkerbell. It's a very girly shaker mix again, so it goes with my card. I'm just putting my shaker mix in all these 3 circles. And now I'm going to remove the tape from behind the card, and then I'm going to stick a white cardstock behind this card front. I just want the background to be white, and here it is. And then I'm going to stick this card front on my pink card base with tape. And here it is. After I stick this, the only thing that's left to do will be the sentiment. As I said, the sentiment is I'm so glad we mix well. I'm just going to use a white cardstock to make a base, because if I stamp it directly it will get lost, I think. So I'm just stamping it on a white cardstock. I will cut it and place it on my card. And here is my first cut, really girly with all the pinks. I love it. Let's move on to the next card. I chose this border stamp from the same stamp set again that comes with the kit. Instead of using it straight, I made it in a circle. And my intention is to stamp this with Versamark ink on my white card front just on top of each other to create some interest in the background. I will emboss it with a clear embossing powder. Then I will use my inks to create some interesting background with different colors. And the embossed areas will resist, so the background will be interesting. And I'm going to use a blue-green color scheme for this card. You'll see 4 ink cubes that again came with the card set, but you'll see that I'm going to use only 3. The 3 I will use are Summer Splash, Blue Yonder and Gumdrop Green. I will just blend these 3 colors together, moving from one to the other, just to have an interesting colorful background. And you will see while I apply the ink, the embossed areas will resist and create some texture. I will build my colors slowly. I'm putting little ink on my blending tool because I don't want to create any blotches and ink sticks to the card very quickly. So I'm trying to avoid it. I'm applying it lightly and then you will see the color will build slowly. And I think I am happy how it looks now. I'm going to move to the next step. I chose the 2 little coffee cup stamps from the stamp set. I just stamped them many times with archival ink in black, and I'm going to use the matching dies to cut them. Now I have many of them. The idea in my mind is to have a stack of coffee cups, one on top of the other, on one side of the card. And for this I'm going to open a slit in each coffee cup to be able to insert one inside the other. As you see, I now opened all the slits and put all the coffee cups inside each other, so I'm creating a tower here. I'm going to stick all my coffee cups inside each other with a tape runner like this. And here they are. I first decided to stick them on the card with tape runner, but then I decided to have some dimension, so I am placing my foam squares behind them. And then I will give some color around the edges just to blend with the background. So I'm using the lightest color that I used before, Summer Splash. And then I will stick it on my card front. After this I realized that I want my card to be a little bit smaller than my card base for the white come through. So I took my coffee cups out and cut my card base a little bit. And now I am sticking it on the white cardstock. And I will place my coffee cups now again. I will use one of the sentiments from the stamp set again, and I'm going to stamp it on white cardstock because again it will get lost if I stamp it directly on my card. Here is my sentiment stamped with archival ink, and I gave a little fishtail too. Now putting my foam tape behind to have it dimensional as well. And my card is ready. Let's move on to the next one. For this card I'm using this beautiful dark turquoise color as my front of the card and the base of the card, so it will be a tone on tone look. I'm going to use this jar die from the die set. I'm not going to use the stamp. I had it die cut many times as you see on my card front. My aim is to create a window card this time. So I am again putting my acetate sheets around each of the jars. These are supposed to be lemonade jars because my sentiment will be about lemonade. Since these are lemonade jars, I'm going to fill them with some lemon and other things. So I'm stamping some lemons from the stamp set using the yellow ink cube, which is daffodil. And there are two matching dies for different sizes of lemon, and I'm going to cut a lot of lemons. And I am giving them a little bit shading using one darker color, which is orange fizz. This will be a window card, not a shaker card, so my elements shouldn't move. I'm going to tape them in each jar. So I will have lemons and some sequins showing through the jars, which is supposed to be lemonade. I'm going to stick my lemonades in the jars with some tape runner, as you see, like this. And I have this shaker mix, which is called Morning Primrose from Lucy's shop, which will be the rest of my lemonade. And since it will be difficult for me to stick the sequins on the acetate, I chose to stick them on my card front at the bottom. I'm just eyeballing where these windows fall, more or less, and then I'm sticking my sequins and other elements with glue pen. I'm also using the stars and hearts from the shaker mix, so it looks really nice. It's all ready now, so I'm going to stick this card front on the card base that has sequins with tape runner. And after this, there is one more step that the camera didn't capture. I stamped my sentiment on vellum paper and wrapped it around my card in the middle. I used embossing powder, Bonjour Butter from Lindy's Stamp Gang collection, because it was going with the colors of the card. And I stick some more sequins next to it. So let's move on to the next card. Again, I'm using this border stamp from the stamp set, and I'm using the pink tones and orange tones. I'm going to stamp with different colors on the border, then I'm going to stamp it on my card. So each strip will have some colors from oranges to yellows to pinks. And I'm going to cover all my card with strips like this. Here is how it looks in the end. Now I have this die set from My Favorite Things again. It's one of the new releases. I saw people doing very nice tone-on-tone looks, so I die cutted this on white cardstock as well, and I'm going to cover it like this. And my aim was for these strips in colors to come through when I put this die cutted piece in the front of my card. And I will stick it with matte medium. I'm just leaving it aside to dry. I used these shelf dies from the die set, and I cut them on wood grain pattern paper to create a shelf. And I will choose some stamps again from the stamp set to put on my shelf. I chose a vase, flowers, leaves. And after I stamped it like this, I realized the leaves and flowers needed to go above the vase for the die cut to cut them like that. So I'm going to do it later again. And I chose another stamp again, and I am stamping it with orange. And here are my flowers. Now that goes with the die. And I am also stamping my sentiment, which is Happiness is Homemade. I used archival ink in coffee color. I am cutting it again and giving some fishtails on the back and forth, both sides. I sticked all my images on the card with gel medium. And I am sticking my sentiment as well. Last thing, I am also sticking my card front to the base. I used orange color that goes with the colors in the front. And let's move on to the next card. For this one, I wanted to use this beautiful cauliflower blue card. Again, my card front and card base will be the same color, so it's a tone-on-tone look. And I only chose the dies to create some kitchen scene here. I'm going for an elegant look here, so as you see, I'm stamping some elements from the stamp set on the die cutted pieces with Versamark ink, and I'm going to emboss them with silver sparkling embossing powder. And also I'm going to emboss the same embossing powder at the bottom of the card as if they are sitting on a silver tablecloth. So the base will be silver. I just used my Versamark at the bottom, and then also on the side I'm creating a border again with this border stamp that came with the set. As you see, I embossed everything, so I'm just placing my elements, and I'm going to have them dimensional, so I'm using my square foams. And since I will have this border on the right side, I'm just cutting my card front a little bit for it to come through. And before I stick it, I'm also embossing my sentiment and using the same embossing powder. So all that's left to do is to stick my card front. Again, I will have it dimensional, so I'm using my foam tape. And here is my card with my very posh kitchen. Lastly, I'm going to embellish it a little bit. This is again a shaker mix by Lucy's shop. It's called Starshine. I'm going to use the silver sequins from here to stick it on my card, here and there. And here is the finished look of this card. And here are the 5 cards that I did with this kit. I hope I inspired you a little bit. Let's have a look at each one of them one by one. As you know, you will find the full list of supplies down below at the description area or at my blog, as well as the close-up pictures of the cards. Please don't forget to give me a thumbs up, leave comments or subscribe to my channel if you like my videos. And see you next time!